next door.
Right, good morning everyone, and welcome to, sit down please, Dale. Welcome to another lockdown lesson. Hope you're doing well. It sounds like parks and stuff are going to be opening soon, which is brilliant news, so we can actually get out and start doing some things. Right, we're going to do a lesson today on sequences and scales, and we've also got a new rule added to bingo as well at the end. So we're going to have a special game of bingo. Bingo winners from last week, I hope you're here with us as well, because we've got a special question involving all you lot as well. So to start with, I wanted to check if we were still okay at telling the time. So I've got 6 clocks there. I'd like you to write down telling the time, because really a clock is just one big sequence. Time is a big sequence going on and on, so it ties in nicely. So can you write down the times for those 6 clocks in as many ways as you can? If you know it as words, great. If you know it as digital, brilliant. Write down as many different ways you know of saying what the time is for each of those there.
Daddy,
okay?
can I do digital and...
Do both. If you know both, do both, please.
Which page are you on?
Good morning, Layla. Good to have you back again. Judy as well. Molly from Inverness in the Scottish Highlands. In fact, that reminds me. Molly from the Scottish Highlands. My hats. I forgot those last time, didn't I? So that's it, if you're doing those clocks, if you can do them both in digital and in words, that's brilliant. Okay, so if you can write the digital form and the word form, that is absolutely fantastic. That is all you need for time, really.
It's in there, is it?
Morning, Henry and Sam from Belgium again as well. Brilliant. And Dante, good to have you here. You were one of our bingo winners last year. Last week rather. Okay, right, brilliant work. Let's have a look at these clocks now so we can get on with the rest of the lesson. So, first one is 3 o'clock. Remember, we always look at the little hand first, that's the important one. So as soon as I see the little hand pointing straight at 3, I know it's 3 o'clock. I can then just check with the big hand, definitely 3 o'clock, or just 3 if you're doing it in digital. This one here, looking in the little hand, it's halfway between 1 and 2. So I know it's already gone past 1 o'clock. It's 1:30. I check with that as well. Perfect, it's 1:30. This one here is just gone past 8 o'clock, so I know it's something after 8. So that'll be 1:30 as well. So this will be 8:15 or 8:15 if you're doing digital. This one here is nearly at 11 o'clock. We are nearly at 11, so I know it's going to be close to 11. When I look here, I can see it's 11:15. Or, if you like, 10:45, 45 past 10 would even be okay there. This one here, we know it's just past 4, it's just gone 4 o'clock. If we look here, it's 5:10, because this sequence goes in 5s for minutes, 5, 10, 15. So it's 10 past 4. And finally here, we know it's about halfway between 11 and 12, a bit closer to 12. So this is going to be 20 to 12 or 11:40, because we've got 40 past 11. So you've got to keep checking with telling the time. Whenever you see a clock, just tell that time. If you practice, you just get it so easy. If you forget about it for ages, then you start to forget how to do it. So just keep doing that as much as you possibly can. Right, okay, so sequences. What is a sequence? Okay, I want you to tell me in the chat, what do you think a sequence is? What is a sequence? Okay, so write down a quick sentence of what you think it is. Okay, so what do you think a sequence is?
Sequence is a line.
Hi Telly, hi Ethan, glad you're loving telling the time at the moment, really important thing to be able to do. JK7 as well, good to have you here. Sorry, the YouTube thing is not working. I don't like the chat system, so there's no lessons on YouTube at the moment. You can find the old ones on there, but at the moment this is the best way to do live, and you should notice the picture quality is a lot better than it used to be here. Okay, we've got a repeating pattern. I like that repeating pattern. A pattern there from Alexia. Okay, a pattern of numbers. A thing that goes in order, that's good, a pattern. Okay, a row of something, okay, I get what you're saying, Molly, yep. Pattern of numbers, okay. Right, okay, let's see, what do you think, Theo?
I think it's, a sequence is a kind of thinking that has numbers that something's equal with them.
Something's equal each
Something's
side.
the same, like,
okay.
for example, if you were counting fives with that, if you're counting fives in 100, that's a sequence, because like 5, you keep adding on.
Okay,
5.
so that's important. So it's some sort of pattern, but it's a repeater pattern. It's got to be the same pattern going through. There's got to be a rule that goes on. So the sequence is a set of terms. It doesn't need to be numbers though. It can be shapes. It could even be sounds. Okay, if you look at the scale on the piano, if anyone plays the piano, if you go up in those sounds, I'm really bad at singing, but da 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 da. Terrible at singing. So that is a sequence in itself as well. Okay, it's got to follow a set rule. So it could be adding 5 each time. It could be anything you want. Okay, you need to know what that rule is. So we're going to look at some sequences now, and all you need to know, and a term is quite an important thing to use in sequences, because it could be a number, a shape, anything at all. So in these sequences, okay, this one here, for example, is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15.
18.
Okay, so what's the next number in that sequence, please? What is the next number, the next term in that sequence?
Daddy.
What is the next term?
How many more? How many
Just
more?
one. Just what is the next term in that sequence?
18. Like somebody says that, and that's it.
Right, so what is the next term in that sequence? Okay, lovely answers. Okay, so we got lots of 18s. So, the rule for this sequence, can you write down now, how would you explain the rule for what this sequence is? Okay, so write down what you think the rule is for the sequence. You can put it on the chat. The next term is definitely 18. It goes 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. What is the rule? How do you know it's 18? What have you done to work it out? Or how would you explain what this sequence is to someone else? How could you say, this is what the sequence is, and they would write down these numbers? Yeah, lovely answer. I like that one, Alvin. Okay, fantastic answer. You all spotted 18 there. So what is the rule? What is the rule for this sequence?
Is counting in 3.
Okay, so Few answers there. So it's counting in threes. You add 3 on each time. Brilliant. But don't forget to say you start on 3 as well. Okay, Alvin spotted these are the multiples of 3. Brilliant. These are the 3 times tables, aren't they? These are the multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It's a great answer, that, because you know to start on 3. If you are saying it adds on 3, you need to make sure you know it starts on 3 for this sequence as well. What about this one? Okay? How is this sequence different to this sequence here? Okay? Still very similar, but there's a difference, isn't there?
13, 16. It doesn't make any sense.
So this one is still adding on 3s, isn't it? Add on 3, add on 3, add on 3, add on 3. But this one starts at 4. So you can say for this one, the rule is add on 3, but this time you start at 4. Or you could say, this is almost the multiples of 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's the multiples of 3, and then what do you do once you've done the 3 times tables each time?
It won't be the same.
You've got to add on an extra 1, so it's 1 more than the multiples of 3. So there's lots of ways of describing a sequence. So I'm going to give you some to do now. Some of these get pretty tricky. So all you need to do is write down the next 3 terms of these sequences and explain the rule. You don't need to write down the rule, you can just explain the rule at home. You can say the rule is this. So don't worry about writing down the rule as long as you know what it is, and then see if you can work out the next 3 terms of each sequence. Okay, so there's some pretty tricky ones there. So the next 3 you need to write down. Okay, so off you go with that one. Any problems, please let me know on the chat and I will get back to you.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 4, 9, 16. 4.
Okay, so just if you're not sure what I'm talking about here, you start with this. So this sequence is going 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There is something going on between each of those numbers. There is a pattern that you're following. What will the next 3 numbers be? What will the next 3 numbers be in that sequence is what you need to write down. What are the next 3 numbers?
What is that?
So all you are doing is working out the next numbers that come there. So if I do the first one for you there. Okay, the next numbers, this is going 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the rule is it's going up in 2s, or you might have spotted it's the even numbers. So the next numbers are going to be 12, 14, and 16. So that's the first one done. You are writing down the next 3 numbers or terms, shapes, whatever they are, the next 3 in each sequence. Okay? So try and work out what is it going up in, what's going on in these sequences, and then work out the answers for them. Okay? Yep.
When you mean like Do you have to like write down to explain?
No, you can just think about that. You don't need to write down what the rule is. Just explain it to yourself. Explain it to who you're with at home. You need to do that bit first. You need to work out what the rule is anyway. So don't worry about writing that bit down. Just try and write down the 3 numbers. Okay, and then you change a bit as you get to the ones on the right hand side there. So I'll show you B. This is how you want to try and do these questions. There's a method if you need a method. So the sequence goes like this. Okay, so the first thing to think about is what is it counting up in? So find the difference between 5 and 10. So this seems to be going up in 5s each time. Up in 5, up in 5, up in 5, up in 5. So it goes up in 5 each time. So up in 5, up in 5, up in 5, up in 5. Okay, so to get the next ones, now I just need to keep adding on 5. So I will go plus 5 gives me 30, plus 5 gives me 35, plus 5 gives me 40. Okay, so you're finding the gap. So that one is finished now. You are looking at what it's going up in and then adding it on, unless it's a different type of pattern. Okay, it's spotting the pattern and then writing down the numbers. For F, imagine this is a pattern going around your room on your wallpaper. Imagine it's going circle, rhombus, rhombus, circle, rhombus, rhombus. Imagine this is a pattern. We want the same pattern going round. So what are the 3 next shapes going to be in that pattern? Think about it going around. It wants to be the same all the way through. Circle, rhombus, rhombus, circle, rhombus, rhombus. Think about what are going to be next in that pattern. Oh, sorry, yeah, that one. I've never done one in my life. Okay, if you're on L, that's probably the hardest one. Look at the gap each time. You might notice the gap actually changes, but see if you can spot a pattern. Okay, there are some really difficult ones towards the end there. Okay, but these first ones here, those are the ones that you should be able to spot and find the gaps in. Ones like that, you should be okay. At the end of year 2, you should be able to do ones like that, and like that really. The other ones then will kind of tell you more about what the pattern is.
Oh, clever, Daddy, clever. Clever. 14. Daddy, I've spotted one that you actually tried to trick me, I think. G. G.
Okay, so just look at this shape one. Imagine this is around your room. It's going circle, rhombus, rhombus, circle, rhombus, rhombus. So what needs to come next in that pattern? Is it a circle or a rhombus? We want the same pattern going around. So just look at this one. Don't think about numbers. Just look at that. So you want the exact same pattern coming on. The exact one afterwards. You want it to go circle, rhombus, rhombus, circle, rhombus, rhombus. We want that to be the same pattern going round. Okay, this one, think carefully about each shape. Think about each shape. If you can draw them, great, or you can just think about what the shapes need to be.
Daddy, I've actually spotted the one on number H. I've actually spotted what makes them all connected.
Okay, how are we doing now? There's a lot of problem solving this. They're all slightly different. You've really got to think about these. It's not like adding or taking away where you're told what to do. You've got to really work things out for yourself. You've got to look for these patterns and then you've got to carry it on. So close with the last one there. Cat Adams, so close with the last one. Just check again what you've done. It's just slightly different to that.
1, 4, 9, 6, 1, 4, 8. 1, 2, 4, 8. Something doesn't seem to be right there. 1, then I add on 1, then I add on 2, then I add on 4.
Yeah, you should be writing these down at home as well on your notepads, on your paper. Sorry, you should be writing these down. If you're thinking about them, it's fine as well. But the idea is to write them down, and then we'll go through them.
8, 1, 2, 8. 1. So I add on 1, then I add on 2, then I add on 4. What's happening? I add on 1, then I add on 2, then I add on 4. 1, 2, 4.
Okay, right, we're going to move off sequences. I'm going to show you the answer to these. Don't worry, some of this I'm really challenging you. So this one there, someone said, I haven't learnt about minus numbers. That's absolutely fine. Just the fact you know it goes into minus numbers is brilliant, because the sequences of numbers go backwards as well. They go past 0, they go below 0. So I'll show you the answers and we'll go through a few of these. So these are the answers you should have. So first one is going up in 2s, 12, 14, 16. This one is going up in 5s, 30, 35, 40. This one's also going up in 2s, but you should notice this is the even numbers and this is the odd numbers. Okay? D is going up in 3s, so that's going up in 3s, so it goes 17, 20, 23. And E is also going up in, E's wrong. E is going up in 4s, 21, 25, 31. So E is going up in 4s. Now this one, it's a repeating pattern, so it goes circle, rhombus, rhombus, circle, rhombus, rhombus, so circle, rhombus, rhombus, circle, rhombus, rhombus, circle, rhombus, rhombus. It's the same pattern going through. G is going down in 2, so it's going to go 6, 4, 2, 0. H, the number of sides is going up by 1 each time. So you've got triangle, square, pentagon. These are all regular shapes as well. Hexagon,
I did it right here.
heptagon, octagon, and a 9-sided shape is called a nonagon.
Good.
Okay, I, this one is doubling each time, so a different sequence. It's doubling. So it's doubling from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32
Now
to
I get
64.
it. Now I get it.
If you
now.
got that in a test or something, they would tell you it's doubling. They'd say, this is a doubling sequence. So they will always tell you. If it's a doubling sequence, they will tell you about that. I just wanted to see if you could spot it. J is going down in 3s. So 13, 10, 7, 4. Then we go to 1. If you know negative numbers, fantastic. You go to -2 and -5.
You could count up.
Okay, K is going A, C, E, G. It's the alphabet, but you're skipping 1 each time. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. And F, hardest one on the board there. If you look at the gap for F, I'll just draw it on this board here. We go 1, 4, 9, 16. Okay, this one is going up in 3. Then it's plussing 5. Then it's plussing 7. The next one will be plus 9, which gives you 25. Then we're going to plus 11, which gives you 36. Then we're going to plus 13, which gives you 49.
Oh.
These are also square numbers. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 6 is 36. 7 times 7 is 49. So some really tough sequences there. Okay? These are the ones. You need to realise what are sequences that you can add it on and then go on from there. Okay? Right, we're going to change in a bit. So, what would you say is the most famous sequence of all time? Okay, sequence of all time. Think of the sequences we've done. What is the most famous sequence?
I have no idea.
Think of sequences of numbers you've done.
I have no idea.
We're changing it a lot now, so if you weren't great with the sequence stuff, I can talk to you at the end, I can send you some messages and things, but we're going to change to some different stuff now. So if you couldn't quite do the first bit, it's going to be very different what we're looking at now. Okay? So what is the most famous sequence you know of? And you all know this sequence. This is the first sequence you are ever taught. This is the first sequence you are ever taught to do with numbers. You probably got taught this sequence maybe when you were 3 or 4 years old. What is the first sequence you got taught? You all know this sequence. Everyone knows this sequence. What is the most famous sequence? There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that is a sequence of numbers. It is a nice, easy sequence that we use all the time. Our counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So those are our sequences there. So, of this sequence, in this number line, okay, I've cut some numbers out. So I want you to estimate, which means guess as best as you can, what number are these pointing to? A, B, C and D. Okay, so what are those pointing to on the number line? What are those roughly pointing to? Those numbers there, A, B, C and D, what numbers are those pointing to? You don't need to be perfect, you just need to think about it and write down, either on the chat or on your paper at home, what do those point to? Okay?
So maybe I just put A for the A one and B for the B one.
Yeah, that's fine.
A.
So what number would you say A is pointing to, what's B pointing to, what's C pointing to? And get it as accurately as you can, but you're estimating because I haven't filled in the gaps. So you're thinking about the number line. Okay, so let's have a look at what you've got here. So we've got some really good answers there. So I would say A to me looks like it is pretty much halfway between 0 and 10. So if it's halfway between 0 and 10, it has to be 5, doesn't it? If you've got 6 or 4, that'll be okay as well because you can't see. So if you've got 4, 5 or 6 for that, brilliant. Okay, this one is really close to 20, isn't it? Okay, I would guess it was about 18, but I would say if you've got 17, 18 or 19, absolutely fine as well. 17, 18 or 19 for B. Now C, this is important, it's more than halfway. It's definitely more than halfway between 20 and 30. So you can't put 25 for that one because you should see it's more than half. So if you've got 26 or 27, brilliant. 26 or 27 for that one. And finally D is a bit past 30. It's not close enough to be 31. So I would say you need to put in there 32 or 33 for that one. Okay, so it's really getting you to think about this number line and how it works. Because you haven't always got all the numbers on. To write them all on, it wouldn't fit for one. So when you get scales, they don't always fit on. So, another example here. These are our bingo winners from last week. So we've got here, in the race, in the big race, we've got Leah's dolly, we've got Evie's dog, we've got Eva's rabbit called Esme, and we've got Dante who's decided to be really cool and just dribble a football in this entire race because he's amazing at football. So, I want to know how far has each person gone? This is in meters. So how far has Leah's dolly gone? How far has Evie's dog gone? Eva's rabbit, and how far has Dante gone? And I want you to try and write down how far they've gone and put them in order. So who is the furthest back and who's gone the furthest? So who's gone the least amount? Who's gone the furthest? So can you put these in order of how far they have gone? Okay? So that is the challenge for the big race.
I can't really see how the full screen from each side.
Okay, we'll just keep moving around then.
So here's dog. So let's have a look at all of them. So that's 75. That's bigger. Okay, that's quite low. Okay, I'd say Esme, Danny. Just get those. Should I put the how far?
Yeah, if you write down how far they've gone, and then you can put them in order maybe after that, okay? If you start the first one, look at the doll, think, what number do you reckon that's pointing to? It doesn't need to be perfect, you're just thinking roughly, what number is that doll pointing to there? How far has it gone? Okay, you've got to look really carefully at the numbers.
90 centimeters. One meter and one centimeter.
Really good answers there. What are you saying 76 for that? Some of you saying about 80. Okay? Interesting that one. Do you think it's just one more than 75 or not? There's a lot of numbers between 75 and 100 there.
Yeah.
Interesting answers there.
I said maybe.
What did you say there?
I think they may have gone. I think that rabbit Esme may have gone maybe 78.
Okay.
78.
Okay, right, let's see what we got then. So, the first one, the doll, I would say that Leah's dolly has gone, that looks to me about halfway between 80 and 100. So anything around 90 is absolutely fine. You do not need to be perfect with that. So let's say the doll,
1.
let's say, just for the sake of this, we'll say it's 90, okay? If you've got anything around 90, that's great. The dog looks a little bit past 100, but there's a lot in this scale here. So I would say, if you imagine little lines there, if I'm going to draw my TV and mess it up again. Those are the lines there, so those are the lines. So it's just after 100, so maybe, probably 105 maybe for the dog. If you put 101, that's great as well. So 101 to 100 and 105, anything like that for the dog. The rabbit, it's just more than 75, isn't it? Okay, I would probably say it's about 80, but anything like 71 to 85 is absolutely great for that one. And then Dante here, chilling with his football. He looks to me, he's well in the lead actually. He looks to me about 140, 150. So 140 to 150. So in order, we've got the rabbit, the doll, the dog, and Dante. The order is the most important thing. I don't really mind about those numbers that you're getting. So as long as you've got in last place the rabbit, then the doll, then the dog, and then Dante in the lead with his football, then that's absolutely fine. But you've got to think about the scales. If you looked at these straight away, you might think the dolly was in the lead.
Yeah.
Because it's right at the end.
But actually, you're not looking at the scales properly.
You've got to look at the
because they're
scales.
counting in different.
Okay? These scales can be completely different things. So you've got to look carefully what numbers they are. Okay? So we're going to have a look at some really grown-up scales now. So those are the answers there. Roughly, if this is on the same scale, that's a race there. So that's what's going on. So it's much easier when the scales are the same. So you can see that's the kind of order where they are. So as long as you've got that order, brilliant. Okay? And don't fall for the trick of just thinking where they are unless they're on the same scale. So this, for me, is one of the scales that gets messed up the most. You see this scale a lot on graphs, on all sorts of things. I want you to think really carefully. You need to think, what does each little bit go up in? Okay? What is each little bit worth? So I want you to try and work out what is A, what is B, and what is C. I'm not going to tell you how to do this one yet because you need to think about it for yourselves. But this one, all the way in big school, in high school, people get this wrong all the time because they don't think about what each little one means. So think carefully about this.
5 times. What goes into 10 5 times? What goes into 10 5 times? What goes into 10 5 times here? What goes into 10 5 6? 2.
Yeah, we've got one more thing after this, and then we are going to do the bingo as well.
2. 3. Okay.
So think, what does this scale go up in?
I reckon that I think I know what it's going up in.
What do you think?
I think it's maybe 2s.
Good. Okay, so this is not going up in 1, because it doesn't go, if you go 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's not enough.
But
Okay, so we can see how many 5s go into 10s, and we can see this scale has to go up in 2, so it's going to go 2, 4, 6, 8. So this scale goes up in 2s. Now you know they go up in 2s, maybe you can work out what B and C is, because they go up in 2s, not 1s. Not everything goes up in 1s. And spotting that is one of the hardest parts about these kind of challenges. We're all looking at the work that went up in twos. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. Fantastic work. Fantastic work.
Daddy, I think I've answered them. I think I've answered them.
Okay, so it goes up in twos. So if we're going to look at our scales here, so A is going to be 2, B is going to be 22, 24, 26, and C 30, 32, 34, 36, 38. Okay, if you think those just go up in ones, you're going to get the wrong answers for those. So always, whenever you see a scale, work out how much each little bit goes up in first. Okay? Right, we're going to look at some cars.
Ooh.
But we will skip that, we're doing no scales. Okay, so we're going to do some puzzles now based on weighing scales. So if you are baking, you always need to weigh things out properly. Okay, so these are some nice little puzzles here. What you need to work out is how much does the last one weigh?
Okay.
How much does the last one weigh? So think about if you can work that out at home, work out what each of the pieces of fruit weigh, and then can you work out what this lot would all weigh there? So I love these kind of challenges. You get these kind of things on your end of year 2 exams as well. So think about what each one weighs.
B banana equals 50. That equals 50. Okay. O for orange. O equals 100. Okay, an apple equals 99. 99.
Just say it's 100.
Okay. This goes to it, isn't it?
That was not 99, what's the apple weigh?
Pardon?
Halfway between, isn't it? Everything is in 50s and 100s as well.
Oh, okay.
Everything's in 50s and 100s on
You
these.
should have told me that soon. You should have told me that
It's
soon.
not 99, is it?
No, it's 50. So if that equals 50, so it's 50, 150. So if you have one of each, so if you have one of each, so it's 50 and 150. So I think it actually weighs 200.
Okay, let's have a look at what we got then. So the apple there is maybe 50 or 60. It was supposed to be 50, but if you got 50 or 60, that's fine. The oranges, 200 for 2, so one of them is 100. The bananas, 2 of them are 100, so one of them is 50. So if you've got an orange, an apple, can't name my fruits, an orange, an apple and a banana, we've got 6, I'll put 60 in just for the sake of it, but 60, 50 and 100. 60, 100 and 50 gives you 210 or 200. Okay, whichever one you got, brilliant. 210 or 200. Right, one more of those. Okay, slightly more difficult.
Okay, as long I know how much O.
Okay,
I think
what's the last one worth this time?
I think maybe I've mentioned that a little bit too soon. Okay.
What is the last one? Well, people that got those right. Brilliant,
So
brilliant, brilliant,
banana
brilliant.
can stay as banana has been doubled.
Okay, so think carefully about what you can work out. Think about this. This is a key one for me here.
Okay, that's the key one. How can that be a key one, Daddy?
Hi, Lily in Italy. Ruben, good answer on the last one, well done.
So, 100 and 150. So 1 equals 100 and 1 equals 150. What one equals 100 and what one equals?
Well, you know what an apple equals already, don't you?
Oh yeah, an apple equals 200.
Bit tougher this one, bit tougher. I think getting the orange is the hardest bit, getting the orange.
I think actually they all double. They all double 2 or 3 times. It's good. Orange, get that orange. But the only one with an orange is with the apple. 250, so that equals 50. So orange is half. Orange gets half for 50. Orange gets half. Orange gets half.
Okay, we've got the answers yet. We've got the
Orange
answers.
gets half for 50. So it's a banana equals 100. So it's
We don't know half this one, right? Just look at the first one first. So the first thing you want to get is the apples. So the apples are 400 for 2. So 1 apple is 200. Okay? So we know that this apple is 200 as well. So now you should be able to work out the orange. You can't just half it because you don't know an apple weighs the same as an orange. So you've got 1 apple is 200. That's the same apple there. All the apples weigh the same in this. So you should be able to work out what the orange is now. Okay? Never just half stuff unless you know it's the same.
Daddy, just so you know that I think
Hi Freddie from Wimborne as well, first time. Hope you're having a good time.
I can't see the comments on the phone and I'm not too sure if your chat goes through fast.
Yeah, just what you doing today? Okay, we're getting a few different answers for this one, a few different answers. So we've got the apple there is 200. This apple is 200. If we got 250 there, then this one has to be 50, doesn't it? Okay? Then we got our bananas. 3 bananas is 300. So 1 banana has to be 100. So in the end here, we've got 100 for that banana, 100 for that banana, and then our apple, I can't see fruits at the moment, and then our orange is 50. So in total we've got 250. Okay? So tougher than the other one, but you've got to use this way of just going through and trying to work out what you know. Okay? 250. Okay, well done people that got that. Okay, so look, you've got your 250. So the first one is the apples there. If you know 2 apples are 400, one of them has to be 200. Okay? So this is the kind of logic you need to follow through to solve these puzzles. And you're also reading the scales as well. But what's great, you're reading the scales, no problem at all. That's the easy bit for you because of what we've looked at. So brilliant. Right, we're going to have a game of bingo now. Okay, it's going to be slightly different. So you're going to draw a grid of 9 squares. And you can pick numbers between 1 and 30. Different numbers between 1 and 30 in those grids. You are also going to pick your power animal. Okay? You can pick tiger, piggy, or dog.
Can you show them? They want to be shown.
Tiger, piggy, or dog. I don't know where my piggy is.
My piggy.
In fact, I'm going to change that to monkey.
Oh yeah,
monkey. So,
monkey,
tiger, monkey. Tiger, monkey, or dog can be your power animals. If your power animal gets picked, you can cross off any square on your grid, so it's the best one to come out of the bag. Okay? So, fill your grid in, and then if you want to post an emoji of your animal, you can post that emoji. Okay, you're absolutely fine to post that emoji if you want to in there to show us what animal you're picking. Are you going to pick tiger, monkey or dog?
Tiger, monkey or dog, which one? Daddy, my cat's not coming through. My cat.
Theo, just sit down and do this one. Do whatever. Get your bingo boo ready. Okay, so you need your 9 numbers between 1 and 30 and your power animal for bingo. Remember the prize, the winners get to go on a special question and make a question up about you for next week's lesson. Okay, now bingo got pretty intense last time, it was very close. Going to try and not get too overexcited, but I always get carried away. Okay, what animals are we going for? What animals? Anyone picked an animal?
I have no idea which one I'm going for.
Oh, you can't put an animal emoji in, can you? No, well.
Just
Okay, we got a dog, we got a dog.
Just
We got
write
a
down.
tiger. Oh, we got a tiger for Jake. Tiger, monkey. Good representation of those. Hurry up, pick your numbers down.
I am right. Okay, I'm going to tiger. I'm going to have tiger right me.
Okay, so we got tiger, monkey, dog. So remember, if your power animal comes, you can cross up any one you want. So there's the best one to get. Okay, we all got our numbers. So we all got our numbers. We are playing for a full house. Here are the very, very important rules. When you want all 9 to win. If you have 2 squares left to go, you must stand up at home and you must go shaky, shaky. If you have 1 square left to go, you stand up and you shout, top banana. I've got a top banana pen back. Okay, if you win, when you've got all 9 boxes, you shout bingo. Make sure you post everything on the chat. I want to know your shaky shakies. I want to know your top bananas. I definitely want to know your bingos. Okay, you've got your power animals as well. Okay, so you've got 9 numbers and you chose an animal as well. Here we go. First number. Let's play bingo. First number. And it's going to be doing number bonds as well. Okay, what do you add to 8 to get 10? What do you add to 8 to get 10? What do you add to 8 to get to 10? What do you add to 8 to get to 10? Okay, next one. Okay, what do you add to 3 to get to 20? What do you add to 3 to get to 20? So start at 3, try and get to 20. What do you add to 3 to get to 20? Next one. What is 3 less than 30? So what is 3 less than 30? What is 30 minus 3? 3 less than 30. Let's play bingo! Okay. What do we add to 9 to get to 20? So what is 20 minus 9? 20 take away 9. Think about your number bonds. 20 minus 9.
Daddy, I've got a question. How are you going to pull out the...
Okay, what is 30 minus 1? 30 minus 1. 30 minus 1. Let's play bingo. Okay, next one. What is 20 plus 10? 20 plus 10. 20 plus 10. 20 plus 10. 20 plus 10. No animals yet. Okay. What do we add to 1 to get to 10? So what goes with 1 to make 10? 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 We need all 9 to get a bingo. All 9 to get a bingo. Next one. 10 plus 3. 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 Could this make anyone's dreams come true? It's 20 plus 8. 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 Okay. What goes with 5 to make 20? What goes with 5 to make 20? What goes with 5 to make 20? Okay, next one. What do we add to 9 to make 10? What do we add to 9 to make 10? Shaky, shaky. We got a shaky, shaky already. We got a shaky, shaky. 2 more left. 2 more left. We're on a shaky, shaky. Very lucky, very lucky. Shaky, shaky. Okay. What do we add to 1 to make 20? What goes with 1 to get all the way to 20? So start at 1, get to 20, or maybe you can start with 20 and go back 1. We got another shaky, shaky. We got a shaky, shaky. I don't have it. Did I see a bingo? I think we got a bingo. We got a bingo! We got 1 bingo, 1 bingo, 1 bingo. Lots of shaky, shakies. 1 bingo. 1 bingo, 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 bingo. We got a bingo. We are playing for 2 more winners, 2 more winners. Okay. We've got, what is 30 minus 4? 30 minus 4. And a top banana! Top banana, top banana, top banana. And a shaky, shaky. A shaky, shaky. And another bingo! Another bingo. Oh my goodness me. We're going to pay for 1 more bingo. We're going to pay for 1 more bingo. Jack and Olivia, shaky, shaky. It's a power animal! It's a monkey! If you got a monkey, cross anyone off your grid. Monkeys, monkey, 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 monkey. Surely that's going to make some more bingos. Surely. A top banana, a top banana. Oh, we got bingos all over the place. This is bingo magic. Goodness me. Right, okay. Those are your bingos, guys. Those are your bingos. Right. Top lesson, lots of problem solving. If you struggle, I'm going to send you some messages. I know someone was really struggling with some of the questions out there. Okay, it is really, really important to be able to solve these kind of problems. Maths is about solving problems. If your counting's there, your number bonds are there, your taking away's there, then you need to be able to use it in situations like that. That thing with the fruit stuff. Being able to read scales, you get scales everywhere. If you like baking, you need to be able to weigh things out properly or your cakes aren't going to come out right. So stick out this lesson. If you want to go back and watch it again and try those questions, try those sequences, why not have a go at that? Okay, otherwise I will see you next lesson for another one of these. Some more bingo magic. Keep up the great work. Schools apparently will be opening soon as well, so there could only be a few more of these lessons left, but we will see how it goes. Okay, as always, stay safe, and I will see you next time.
Can I get my teddies, Daddy?
Yeah. Stop.